friends, good morning. Oh, happy Friday. I'm so happy that you are here, and if you haven't been around for the first two videos, you will have no idea what I'm talking about. But to those of you that have actually watched the first and second one, I bless you. Thank you so much for your support. Sorry, I don't mean to be yelling. I'm very excited. I have my good camera. I have appropriate lights. I have sound. Oh my gosh, amazing sound. Good audio. It's very much a learning process trying to start and produce a YouTube channel when you have no idea what you're doing. And everybody's like, just use your iPhone, like you've got a good phone. Well, my phone is sort of dying. It is very full of media, mostly pictures of my daughter and my family and memes. There's like 42,000 photos. That doesn't even include the videos. And I can't seem to get them to upload, or my phone won't connect to a computer to download all of them. So I'm just sort of stuck. So I had tried to do my iPhone at the beginning, and that was a nightmare. And so that's when I got the other crappy camera, and that was a whole nightmare. So we are finally on the road to good things. Good video, good video quality. It's all I'm looking for in life. Good quality things. So, today, I'm so excited. So excited to have you. Today we are going to be making pins for our rainbow board. Well, I'm going to make pins. You are going to follow along. If you would like to make them, I'm going to list all of the materials and supplies that you need, which isn't actually much. It's like a handful of stuff, which is fun because it's cheap and cheerful. Cheap and cheerful, for those of you that do not catch that. I talk really fast, I'm sorry. You would think after 15 years in the South, I would slow it down, but I think my speed of talk has just gotten worse because people are slow talkers in the South. Anyway, so today we are going to make some pins with shrink plastic. Shrink plastic, or Shrinky Dinks. Remember Shrinky Dinks, folks? You know what's sad is that up until 6 months ago, I had never made anything with, well, a year ago. I'd never made anything with Shrinky Dink plastic, ever. I didn't have Shrinky Dinks when I was a kid. And I was like, wow, I forgot that these even existed and they still make this stuff? Like, what? Anyway, you need your shrink plastic. You need some images. Aren't these fun? So cute. I actually made these in Procreate on my iPad because I have it. If you don't have it, that's fine. You can actually download whatever you want off the internet. Find some, I don't know, Disney characters if you want, or find Rainbow Bright characters, whatever characters you like, or your kids like. Use Smurfs, and remember Smurfs. Remember Snorks? Snorks were so fun. I love the Snorks. Or you could just make up some of your own. Now these I did these weeks ago, and they've just been sitting on my desk because I was like, oh, I need to shrink them. These are a little smaller than I think is going to be necessary. I think they need to be a little bit bigger. So today I am going to make these a little bit bigger. So they will be probably half this size. This is an A5 size, which is, bust out my handy dandy ruler. It is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. Super weird size, but that's what that is. And then you're gonna need the little pin backs, or they're tie tacks. Excuse me, that's what they are. Tie tacks, like little. Anyway, it's got the little pin and then the backing that goes on it. You're actually not gonna need the backing, but I save those in a bag. And then my Posca markers. I have quite a few. I have new ones. I have ones that are dying and running out of paint, so I have my old ones. And they're so beautifully organized in my little drawer. If you like these drawers, I got them from Michael's. So I'm just going to remove those from the drawers to use them. And need, oh, and some tape. And I'm just going to use some washi tape because that's what I have right next to me, and some good scissors. I would recommend, I have a big pair of craft scissors, and I actually have a very sharp pair that I use for Cricut, which are small, you do need a small pair to get in any nooks and crannies, unless you're just going to go in a big circle around it, because the plastic can crack on you if you are trying to, you know, manipulate in there, around there. So let's try to figure out the best way to film this, and I think I'm going to have to move that bad boy over here. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take our pictures. I'm just going to roughly cut these out. Does not need to be perfect because we're not even really using these, we're just tracing over them. Got a gumball machine, a cat for my daughter, and me. We have four cats. Good grief. Got what's going to be a rainbow pencil, an ice cream, and a fancy penguin. He's got a bow tie. Okay, and then we're going to take our first piece and tape it on. I'm going to cut this in half because that's roughly what I want each one of these to be, about somewhere in the half margin. So I'm going to trim that just a little bit more, and then flip that over. And this is just to hold it in place, because there's nothing worse than having a picture that moves on you while you're trying to draw it. And make sure that it's the rough side. If you get the rough kind of shrinky plastic. There are other plastics to use if you feel the need. It doesn't really matter which one you get. I got this one because it was an $8 pack. It was like it was $8, and I mean, shrinky plastic for days, yo. I know it seems like it's wasteful, and you can certainly, you know, squish as many as you would like to on there. Just remember that they will shrink by 20%. If you're a math person, congratulations, because I am not. So if you can figure out the 20% from this, all the good things, wonderful. All right, let's see. We're going to use some of my new Poscas for this. Take the drawer off. So we're going to let this dry. We're going to put that over there. going to take my black pen. I'm going to outline Bowie. This is strictly just so I can get a nice even cut when I cut this in a little bit when it dries. Because like I want to have a black border like these. Like this has a black border around it that's thicker. Just so that way when it shrinks it'll have some definition. Whoops. See, I pressed down too hard. My pen leaked. Well, at least it was on the outside of Bowie and not on the inside. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot. Good, a pen that we can't see. Well, that's fun. And you know, something that I really love to do when I draw food is give food faces. I love personifying food. It hits me in my happy spot, and it's so funny to me to give inanimate objects faces. So. And then I am going to give this little ice cream a little face. I mean, how cute is he? He's got a little face, and you know what? I'm going to give him some little cheeks. coolest little ice cream there ever was. And he's done. And I'm going to put him over here with my penguin. I had that last piece of plastic. I had 6 pieces cut essentially, and it was driving me nuts that I would have a half a piece. So I did a little piece of pizza while I was waiting, a little drippy piece, which I thought was really fun. My toppings are black olives, pineapple, and mushrooms. And no, I am not pregnant. This is just one of my favorite pizzas. The little green and red things are herbs. And then there's like, you know, I did think that I did a really good job with the whole blending of the darker pizza. I used my, if you get these paints really wet and you work quickly, you can blend. It's hard. Like, I'm not a great blender anyway. It's not my forte. I usually leave things pretty flat, but I like to torture myself. No, I like to challenge myself a little bit. And I thought, you know, I don't want flat pizza. I don't want like a little line there and it look bleh. So, because it's going to be tiny, and I'm sure that some of this stuff will probably shrink out, but just meaning that it won't show up. And then also, if you want to make these as charms, you absolutely can. I would punch a hole right there. You have to punch the hole before they get shrunk, because they get shrunk down and then they get thick. Or thicker, I should say. So you don't want to wait until afterwards if you have plans on making a charm or something. Shrink in all the dinkies, and what a ridiculous name. Shrinky Dink. I mean, I guess it's, you know, it's for kids. But adults can have fun too, man. Right, that's a nice collection. So we are gonna head down to the kitchen. Okay, so we have a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. It's really important to use parchment paper. Do not use wax paper for baking of any kind, even Shrinky Dinks. It's a whole disaster. And if you don't know, you should definitely Google that. And according to Google, we preheated the oven to 325, and we're gonna do one at a time. And the reason for that is because if you put too many on the pan, and this is a fairly small pan, if you put too many on the pan, when they shrink, they kind of curl up and they kind of move around and dance a little bit on the baking sheet, you'll see. And if you have too many, they can bounce into each other, and then they stick together, and then the whole thing is ruined, and then you have to start over. And these just took way too long to do that. Alrighty, so here are the Shrinky Dinks. I think of all of them, I think the pizza came out the best because there's no curling. I didn't even lose the little drippies. I wasn't 100% sure that those would come out. And this tiny little strawberry is just the cutest little thing. So got those. The penguin lost his head. Like his whole head was curled underneath. You can kind of see right there. So his face is really a mess. And these do feel very, I don't know, the ones that have less layers, like the strawberry actually feels like I would expect it to. This one kind of feels a little, his face feels very fuzzy because remember I went over his face a couple times. And then Bowie the cat, I don't know if you can see like the texture on him. Oops. Sorry. The camera just won't get that. Oh no, that's blurry, sorry. Anyway, so that's that. I do think this one came out cute. It kind of got a little higgledy-piggledy, but that's alright. This one is a whole hot mess situation. Like it curled in on itself. I try to trust the process. With the penguin, I actually rushed in and like had to use a toothpick to get his head to pop up. And then he kept flipping over and I was like, ah, and so I just grabbed his face and went, you know. This one, I just left it in there and you can see like it's pretty bad. So I think I'll toss that one. This one came out really cute. I'm happy with this one. And of course, there's the ice cream. So overall, I think having one or two that really aren't great, I think they turned out okay. Bowie's paint is definitely chipping. And again, that has to do with how many layers I put on. I did forget to mention at the beginning that we do need to put on a protective gloss varnish. So, we're going to do that. Alright, so my varnish is dried. Now it does not look shiny by any stretch of the imagination. So, I think that what you could do is you could use like a dimensional paint or whatever to put over the top if you wanted it glossy. I might come back and do that once I find some because I don't have any at the moment. But the paint is, I mean, the stuff is protected. It's kind of just there.